The crimson warning lights bathed the bridge of the Korthak dreadnought Bloodfang in an ominous glow. Captain Vexton studied the tactical display with growing confusion, his four eyes tracking the movement patterns of the small human vessel that had just dropped out of hyperspace. "Analysis complete, Captain," reported his weapons officer, Gar-UK. "Single human transport vessel. Minimal armament. Crew complement, approximately 50 organics." "Perfect," Vexton growled, his mandibles clicking with anticipation. "Signal the fleet. We'll board and harvest them for the slave markets. Humans fetch excellent prices, their endurance and adaptability make them ideal workers." But instead of acknowledgement, an uncomfortable silence fell over the bridge. His crew exchanged nervous glances, their usual bloodthirsty enthusiasm notably absent. "Captain," his first officer, Rathmore, spoke carefully, "that vessel bears Terran coalition markings." "So?" Vexton's voice carried the edge that had earned him command of the most feared raiding vessel in the outer spiral. "Sir," Rathmore's voice dropped to barely above a whisper, "humans are off limits." Vexton's laugh was a harsh bark that echoed through the bridge. "Off limits? By whose authority? The Galactic Council has no jurisdiction here. This is free space, and those soft-skinned mammals are fair game." The bridge crew's silence stretched uncomfortably long. Finally, Rathmore activated his neural interface and displayed a series of incident reports that made Vexton's blood run cold. The first file showed the remains of the pirate fleet Death's Head, 37 ships reduced to expanding clouds of debris. The perpetrator, a single human rescue vessel that had come looking for survivors from a civilian transport the pirates had attacked. The second file contained scanner logs from the infamous Sectheri Syndicate. Their entire operation, over 200 vessels strong, had simply vanished while attempting to raid a human medical convoy. The only trace left behind was a brief transmission, "You should not have touched our healers." File after file painted the same picture. Pirates, slavers, raiders, entire fleets that had made the mistake of targeting human vessels. None had survived to explain what happened. "Propaganda," Vexton snarled, but his voice lacked conviction. "Fear-mongering by the Council to protect their pet species." "Captain," his navigator, Zilneth, spoke up hesitantly, "my cousin served aboard the Ravager when they attacked a human colony ship 3 cycles ago. She was the only survivor," she said. Zilneth's breathing apparatus wheezed with anxiety. "She said the humans didn't just fight back. They hunted. Every pirate vessel that participated in the attack was tracked down across 7 systems. It took them 2 months, but they found every single ship." "And what exactly did these supposedly terrifying humans do?" Vexton demanded. "Nothing violent," Zilneth whispered. "They just disabled the ships. Stranded them in space with life support intact. Then they broadcast a message on all frequencies, 'You have 3 standard days to reconsider your career choices.' The rescue beacons were activated exactly 72 hours later." Vexton frowned. That didn't sound particularly threatening. Gar-UK pulled up another file. "The interesting part, Captain, is what happened to those pirates afterward. Every major criminal organization in the sector refused to work with them. Even the Bloodclaw Cartel, who are known for employing anyone willing to kill, turned them away. Why would they care about some human gesture of mercy?" "Because," Rathmore said quietly, "it wasn't mercy. It was a demonstration." The humans tracked down every single raider across multiple star systems, disabled their vessels without destroying them, and then let them go. The message was clear: "We found you once. We can find you again. Next time, we might not be so generous." The human transport had maintained its course, seemingly oblivious to the massive predator lurking nearby. Vexton studied its trajectory, a standard shipping lane leading toward the core worlds. Nothing suspicious, nothing that would justify the growing sense of unease in his gut. "There are rumors," his communications officer added nervously, "that the humans maintain something called the harm registry. Every sentient being who has ever attacked a human is catalogued. Their biometrics, their ship signatures, their known associates. The data is shared across their entire species." "Impossible," Vexton scoffed. No species maintains that level of coordination. The Valtheri Confederation tried to verify it, Gar UK continued. They staged a false flag attack on a human transport, using hired mercenaries with no official ties to their government. Within 6 standard months, every Valtheri trade vessel was being subjected to random customs inspections by human patrol craft. Their shipping profits dropped by 40%. When they complained to the Terran Coalition, Rathmore added, the humans expressed polite confusion. They claimed it was merely a coincidence that their patrol schedules were determined by algorithmic analysis of traffic patterns and potential security threats. The Valtheri couldn't prove otherwise, but the message was received. Vexthan's tactical mind began processing the implications. If the rumors were true, attacking a human vessel wouldn't just mean dealing with immediate retaliation. It would mean marking his entire crew, his ship, potentially his species, for long-term consequences that could span generations. Sir, his sensor operator called out, the human vessel is hailing us. On screen. The face that appeared was unremarkable by galactic standards, bipedal, mammalian, with the soft features typical of garden world evolution. But there was something in the human captain's eyes that made Vexthan's instincts scream warnings. Greetings, the human said pleasantly. I'm Captain Rodriguez of the merchant vessel Gentle Breeze. I couldn't help but notice your impressive warship. Beautiful engineering, Korthak design, if I'm not mistaken. Vexthan found himself responding before he'd consciously decided to. Yes, it is. Wonderful craftsmanship. I actually have a colleague who studied Korthak naval architecture. Dr. Sarah Chen, perhaps you've heard of her? She wrote several papers on the tactical applications of your ship designs after the unpleasantness with the Shadowclaw pirates. The temperature on the bridge seemed to drop. Every member of Vexthan's crew knew about the Shadowclaw pirates. They'd been the most feared raiding fleet in this sector until they'd made the mistake of attacking a human research vessel. The entire fleet, 43 ships, had vanished without a trace. I trust your voyage has been profitable, Captain Rodriguez continued conversationally. Though I should mention, our NAV computer flagged your ship's signature as being remarkably similar to vessels involved in some unfortunate incidents last year. I'm sure it's just a coincidence, of course. Vexthan's mouth went dry. Of course. Well, I won't keep you. Safe travels, Captain. The transmission ended, leaving the bridge in absolute silence. After several long moments, Rathmore spoke carefully. Captain, perhaps we should consider alternative targets. The Rigelian trade convoy is scheduled to pass through Sector 7 tomorrow. No humans involved. Vexthan stared at the dwindling dot of light that was the human transport. His predatory instincts were screaming at him to attack, to prove that the Korthak feared no one. But deeper, older instincts, the ones that had kept his species alive for millennia, were telling him to back away from something he didn't fully understand. Set course for Sector 7, he ordered finally. As the Bloodfang changed heading, Vexthan couldn't shake the feeling that he'd just made the wisest decision of his career. Somewhere in the galaxy's databases, his ship's signature had been noted, catalogued, and filed away. And somehow, that felt more terrifying than any weapon humanity had ever built. The human transport Gentle Breeze continued on its peaceful trajectory, carrying medical supplies to a colony world and leaving behind a legend that would be whispered in pirate dens for generations: humans are off limits. We don't harm them. Not because we can't. Because we remember what happens to those who try.